Good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Look at the clock. It must be 1 p.m. PST because we're here. We're doing it live. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Love that clip. But first, friends, temperatures aren't the only thing rising. Gasoline prices, food prices, tensions throughout society, especially yesterday. Global conflict, supply chain breakdowns, you name it. Experts say the looming global food crisis will be worse than any year since WW2. What should you do? Well, I say go to preparewithjericho.com. Get your long-term emergency food storage from My Patriot Supply while you still can. My Patriot Supply is America's largest preparedness company with millions of satisfied customers. Their food lasts for up to 25 years in storage. When you need it, it will be there. Act quickly and save $150 on a 3-month emergency food kit. These kits provide breakfast, lunch, dinner, drinks, and snacks totaling over 2,000 calories a day. You won't go hungry when you have this emergency food. So go to preparewithjericho.com, save $150 on your 3-month emergency food kit. That's preparewithjericho.com. Get your family's emergency food while there's still time. Go to preparewithjericho.com. People, you seen the title, Roe v. Wave Goodbye, the fallout. And somehow the fallout from this is sweeter than it was yesterday, with the initial shock to their system. The fallout is even better because they're an emotional group, so they're going to get emotional. And when they get emotional and them thumbs start to clicking and clacking on Twitter and shit, they say something dumb. And in one case, well, let's be honest, in a couple cases, but one in particular, it gets racist. I know they're the side that's against racism and America's racist and people of color and all that bullshit, right? It makes them sleep better at night knowing that they've helped a lowly colored person today. Well, when they get mad, they get racist. And I love it because I get to call it out and make fun of them because they are pieces of shit. I am very comfortable on the low road. We're taking the low road today, people. We are going to insult some people because they are insulting us. I do not believe in turning the other cheek. Matter of fact, that reminds me of a story. I'm trying to tell you a story. So when I was in eighth grade, when I was 8 years old, I was in 3rd grade. And we had a principal at my school named Mrs. Baker. And Mrs. Baker, she took over for Mr. Allen. I still talk to Mr. Allen to this day. That man had a cold mustache too. It would put Magnum PI to shame. And she took over for him. He was cool. I didn't really like her. She had anyway. So I got in a fight. Some kid said something because I went to a predominantly white school, and some white kid said something racist to me, called me some kind of name or something, right? So I kicked his ass. So I get in trouble and I go to the principal's office. And she's talking to me and she says, Martin Luther King, he wouldn't have done this. He would have turned the other cheek. So I'm 8 years old. So that shit right over my head. I didn't even get it. So I go home and I'm telling my parents what happened. And my mom asked, shout out to Faye Knox. I see you there. My mom asked, well, what did the principal say? And I'm going on telling her. I said, yeah. And then she told me that Martin Luther King wouldn't have done that. He would have turned the other cheek. And my mom said, what? I was like, yeah. And I repeated it. And I couldn't tell. Oh, somebody wrote the word hoe in there. Reminded me of something I want to talk about. You'll see why when I get to it. Okay. So I told my mom what she said. I repeated it. And I didn't mean it. Like I said, it went over my head. It didn't mean shit to me. I didn't know what she was getting so mad about. So my mom, I think that she just sent me home for the rest of the day or something. I got to go back to school the next day. And my mom came with me. And I walked with her to the principal's office. And then she got to the principal's office and she's like, okay, go to class. I was like, oh, I thought I was going to be here to talk to the principal. She's like, no, I'll take care of this. You go to class. And to this day, my mom never told me what they talked about. But now that I'm older, I realize why the fuck would you say that to a little kid? Like, what was I supposed to do? Like, you know what, Mrs. Baker, you're right. I need to turn the other cheek. I need to let these little racist bastards say shit to me and not do anything about it. No, that's just, I've never been that way. If someone's ever wronged me, I have to get them back. I have to. That's always been how I am. I can't let anybody do me dirty and not get them back. I remember one time as a little kid, I remember how old I was, 7, 8, something like that. I remember watching this after school special. Remember those? And it was a black kid who moved to a neighborhood, and there were some racist white kids there, so they spray painted the N-word on his fence or something like that. And it ended up, the kid was like, hey, it's cool. They ended up shaking hands at the end. And I remember telling myself, I will never do that. I am not going to let somebody do some shit like that to me and let it go. Whether that be verbal or physical, whatever. I fuck that. I'm not going to let you do something like that to me. I'm like, oh, you know what, man? It's cool. No. So now that I'm older, I understand why my mom got pissed off that she said that. I ain't MLK. I ain't got nothing to do with MLK. I'm Little Jericho, and that motherfucker said something to me that was racist, so we got down. That's that. But shout out to Mrs. Baker if you're watching. If you're watching, tell me what my mom said to you. I'd love to know. Maybe I should ask my mom if she even remembers. That was a long time ago, but maybe I'll ask my mom what she told that teacher that day, Mrs. Baker. But yeah, that shit was funny as hell. Shout out to everybody in the comment section there already. I appreciate that. Why don't we get to some of these comments, huh? What are you guys talking about? You crazy kids talking about. Blessed Veteran Adventures, I see you. None the Miser, Flame Rock, Craig, I see you there. Joe Texas, Darrow 333, Brendan, TLC, Lightning, Greg, Libby, Christian, Yo, Hoser, Bonjour, Jericho. Comment Vastu, is that more French? Patton, one of the greatest generals we ever had. Ryan, Jar O Happiness, Jane Doe, Brian B. Falcone. What's up, man? We do know how it goes. That's why we're here every day. Jean Marie Todak, Mike to Life, John Balio, Ralph, Flyboys, Alan. What's up? T. Phillips, Mike Tyson T. Any relation? Ross, the Cat Slave. I carry my revolver in single action. East St. Louis, you probably using that damn thing in that wild ass city. Truffles, Jake, ATB. What's up, everybody? I appreciate you being here. Man, like I was saying, the fallout is, or I should say, yeah, the fallout, their reaction, their overreaction, their over emotionalness, if that's a word. It's beautiful. It's better than the initial shock yesterday. All these jackasses, and not just individuals. We're talking some companies. One in particular are acting stupid as shit. And it makes you wonder, why? Why would a company do that? Why? Okay, so the company is Dick's Sporting Goods. And okay, hold on a second. Let me get this right. Okay, so Dick's Sport. Well, hold on. Let's roll back. We got to do our segment. Good Gun. First of all, that's how we kick off the live streams. I do a segment now called Good Gun. And these are stories where law-abiding gun owners successfully protect themselves, their loved ones, and their property. Okay? These are the good stories. I'm tired of hearing about, oh, they mass murderers and mass shootings and guns are bad. Gun violence, that's bullshit. Okay? More often than not, we got some good stuff happening out there, good people being saved by their firearms. Okay? So here's another segment of Good Gun. But before I get into that, Venmo, Green for Green, Cashapp, $ Jericho Green 1, Super Chats. I see them coming in. I will get to you. And if you want to do it old school, send it snail mail, P.O. Box 806, Olivehurst, California, 95961-9998. Good Gun. Here we go. This one comes from the left coast. You know, the West Coast Offense, which is a coalition of California, Oregon, and Washington that are going to make it super easy for you to come out here and do a little abortion terrorism. That is terrorism on the kid, unfortunately, but a little abortion tourism. Like I said, make a weekend out of it. Get some food, maybe check out some since you're coming to the West Coast, you could do the Golden Gate Bridge. You go downtown Portland, you go up to Washington, see the Space Needle, kill your baby and be out. Here we go. Headline, I have a right to protect myself. Washington man shoots and kills suspected home burglar. I think it's funny when kids call them boogalers. Spanaway, Washington. A resident shot and killed a home intruder in Spanaway early Thursday, and a second suspect escaped, according to the Pierce County Sheriff's Department. Deputies said the 31-year-old resident, Jeremiah Smith, shot at two men who tried to break into his house near A Street on East 165th around 4 a.m. Again, I mentioned this the other day. When you break into somebody's house at a certain time, you know they're going to be there. So you're going to harm. And there are some states where you get extra time for doing that during those hours because you know somebody is going to be there. 4 o'clock in the morning, you know damn good and well there's a very high chance that the occupants are going to be home. So you must be coming with the intent to hurt or kill them. Because why wouldn't you do it? Not saying you should, but why wouldn't they do it at a time when most likely most people aren't home? 4 a.m., everybody's home. So the homeowner told police he shot at the suspects as they kicked in his back door. The intruders then ran into the front yard where deputies later found one of the suspects dead. The other suspect ran off. Smith said he has been renting the home with his wife and children for the past 3 years. That's why he was so fierce in his protection, because of his wife and 3 kids. Smith explained he and his sister were in the house when the suspects kicked down the door. Smith said he acted in self-defense. He says, when everything first started, the first thing I had to do was take a few breaths and calm down because I knew it could have gone one of 2 ways. I didn't know who they were. I didn't know what they had. But the first thing I did, and it's honest to God's truth, is I took a few breaths to myself. That way I knew I was calm enough to make a proper judgment decision, Smith said. So he's not just a wild, crazy Yosemite Sam gun owner. He's not rootin' tootin' looking for a bad guy to kill. Investigators have not released any further information about the suspects, but said that the man who died was 24 years old. It's too bad. Young life taken or given away, really. While detectives continue investigating the case, Smith said he will continue standing by his actions. It kind of goes back to your rights. I have the right to carry, and I have the right to protect myself, and I have the right to protect my property, Smith said. Protect yourself. That doesn't mean go looking for it. That means just be ready. People who live in the area said crime has been increasing in the neighborhood. One man said he recently bought security lights and a surveillance camera to protect his home. If I ain't one thing, it's another. Or said, if it ain't one thing, it's another, said the man who asked to keep his identity private. That kind of upsets me that we have this kind of crime going on in the neighborhood. It's not a good feeling because we don't know. It could be something happening tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, you know, same old thing. So there you go. A man protecting his property and his family. He said he has his wife and 3 kids in there. What you going to do? You going to step aside and let these fools do that? They were brazen enough to kick in the door. They were announcing it. I'm here. They didn't sneak in through a window. They kicked the door in. They were coming to cause some problems. Homeboy wasn't having that. I'm glad he took a second. Slow things down. Be calm. Be accurate. And he was. Peace out to that little 24-year-old turd who thought he could go in there and steal some shit. Who knows what they were going to do? Like I said, 4 a.m., you know people are home. You know somebody's in there, so you must be prepared to do something to him. Well, it looks like Mr. Smith was more prepared than him. Good for them. That is another segment of Good Gun. Beautiful, guys. That was great. Keep it up. Keep the stories coming in. I like to hear law-abiding citizens protecting their family and their shit. Back to the comments. You crazy kids talking about. Mike to life. Jericho, what's up from Jersey? What's up? Ryan says, baby lives matter. They do. Jar of Happiness. Y'all ready for the BLM/Antifa 2.0? It's coming. Boy, I sure hope not. Shout out to Jane Doe from San Fran shithole. Check the bottom of your shoe. Make sure there's no homeless shit on it. TLC Ultra MAGA. Isn't that stupid? I'm glad that shit didn't catch on. It has now. People making merch about it, but that shit was dumb. But baby lives matter. They do. And so I was looking for how the protests were going. From what I could see, I saw one where some pepper spray was deployed, but it's not quite the Summer of Love 2020 that we saw. And I hope it doesn't get there, because even though these people are jackasses, Libby Ann, NC in the house, what up, North Kakalaka? Even though these people are idiots, they still have a right to protest peacefully. Get out there and do that. Make your signs, do your chants. Just keep it cool. When you're done, pick up your trash. Don't leave your signs and your water bottles and shit everywhere. Don't be an asshole. Clean up after yourself and go home. And if you want to, bring your ass right back here bright and early. Get your protest on. That's your First Amendment right. Exercise it, but it comes with responsibility. Despite what the dumbasses in our federal government have said, that's what I think. Merch will be available soon. But those jackasses are telling you that, oh, yeah, if you're out here protesting this and you don't like the Supreme Court justices, go to their house. Or, the protest of the rioters are just acting out. What do they call that? When they're showing the flames in the background and it said it was a peaceful protest. Flames do not say peace. Burning shit is not peaceful. Now, if the fire was small and they had sticks with marshmallows over it, hey, that's a peaceful protest right there. But that's not what's happening. I think it was a car that was on fire. Craig Lighton, and the salt must flow. Let it flow. Let it come from their tears. Let it be tear salt. Please. Brendan, he says, Jericho, can you shout out my mom, Tammy? It's her birthday. Tammy, girl, happy birthday. Drink one for me if you do. And if you drink a lot, make sure you get some water in between there so you don't have a hangover. But shout out to you, Tammy. Happy birthday. Looks like you raised a good one. He's here. I appreciate that. Enjoy your day. Daro 333 says, Ultra Jericho time, lads and gals. That's right. Come on in. The water's fine. You know what the water's like? It's like in Dumb and Dumber when he peed on him. He's like, man, just go. He's like, ooh, that's warm. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of water we're dealing with here, people. Let's get some of these super chats in, shall we? Christian, my Canadian connection. Yo, hoser, get off my lawn. That's right. That's how some of us may seem. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't mind being an old curmudgeon today about that type of shit. Oh, I saw another one in here. I see a Fitty in here. Where's a Fitty? Lord German Husbando, what's up? Thank you. Says Jericho, you didn't see my name in the chat? What? What are you talking about? My bad. But there, I said it. Lord German Husbando, people. You hear me? There we go. Now we're even. Christian, again, thank you. So thanks for coming on today, sitting with Mel in our backyard in Salsa, Old Milwaukee. And sitting in the backyard with Salsa, Old Milwaukee, and me. Thank you very much. Cheers to you. Keep those beers cold. Nothing I hate more than going to a damn barbecue and they got fake cold beers. And what I mean by fake cold beer is it looks cold. You pick it up. It got the condensation on it. It feels cold, but you crack that bitch open and you know they just put them in there 30 minutes before you showed up. I can't say that's a pet peeve of mine. When I have a barbecue and there's drinks or something, them shits are on ice hours before you show up. If you show up to a Jericho barbecue, you're going to have real cold drinks. Remember that, people. Prince of the Cats, thank you very much for the 50. Speaking for abortions, LeBron could have been one single mom and no dad. Damn. That's true. People don't think about that. There's those same crazies out there protesting for that shit. If your parents took your advice, you wouldn't be here, dumbass. Anyway. Random J. That's a tiny garage. Actually, random. Size doesn't matter, okay? And anyway, this is the last 12 feet of my garage. It's actually a 4-car. Take that, buddy. Anyway, so shit I want to talk about. Nancy Pelosi, she's all upset. She got out there yesterday. She's like, I would say good morning, but there's no reason to say good morning. That's what she said. All mad and shit, naming the Republican she hates, and who's her favorite Republican to bring up, huh? Who's the one who left the orange man pubes in all their mouths and they can't get it out? Trump, she had to bring him up. Love it. The company I was talking about, Dick's Sporting Goods, they want to pay up to $4,000 for abortion tourism reimbursement. So if you got a weekend coming up and you want to get rid of this little thing, Dick's Sporting Goods will pay you up to $4,000 to reimburse you for your travel expenses if you have to go out of state because of the Supreme Court's ruling. That is fucking sick. We're going to talk about it. And there's been a cavalcade of woke blue check mark dumbasses sounding off about this, all emotional and shit. One of them is Megan Rapinoe. Now, if you don't know who that is, lucky you. But she is on the U.S. women's soccer team. She's one of those purple-haired dumbasses who can't keep that hole under her nose shut. And she's gay, so I don't see how this whole abortion thing plays into that because she can't. I don't care how you can scissor your heart out. You ain't making no babies doing that way, but she had to chime in. And of course, she tells men, you need to speak up. She's taking us to task. Oh, yes. We're going to talk about that idiot. And then Martha Stewart probably had the most racist comment yesterday or so far about the Supreme Court justices' ruling. She has something to say to Clarence Thomas. Oh, yes. Martha Stewart, you bitch. And here's my question. When did we elect a bunch of activists? Because you got AOC's stupid ass out there. You got Maxine Waters out there in the crowds chanting, yelling into megaphones. What the fuck is this? We didn't hire a bunch of Angela Davises to be out there for the cause. You guys, your job is to uphold the Constitution. That's it. Keep your personal thoughts and feelings to yourself. And the Constitution, they got these things called amendments. I know there are hurdles to you guys, to you empty suits, but there's one in there in particular. I like to keep this on hand. A little pamphlet. I know it's a little and cute, but it has a lot of good information inside of it. I like to keep this on hand. We're going to read an excerpt from this. And the older generation should know better. Speaking of Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi. How old are these fucking relics? Huh? I bet you if you look at the picture of the Last Supper, Maxine Waters is probably in the back like, yo. Let's see. Nancy Pelosi. She was born March 26, 1940 AD. She is 82 years old. So you come from a time where this kind of shit, this wasn't the business of the day. This wasn't what you guys were into. You weren't talking this kind of shit. You weren't for abortions like this. So what happened? This older generation was at a different time. They should know better. So what happened? How did they make the switch? Let's see. Maxine Waters, how old is her dusty, crusty ass? Maxine Waters. Damn, she's even older. I thought Pelosi was older than her. Maxine Waters was born August 15th, 1938. That's back when it was a real ice box. Like you had a box and they put a block of ice in there to keep your food cold. 1938. She is 83 years old. Now, despite the fact you are too fucking old to be in public service, why are you not enjoying the twilight of your life is beyond me. If you retired today, you'd have about another 10 years on this earth. This is how you want to spend it? So that's just something a question that I have. Don't they know better? How are older people into this pro-abortion bullshit? Because they come from a time where you didn't do that. You'd have the baby. I don't know who would raise it. Maybe take it, send it to a family or give it to a family member or something like that. But they didn't come from that time. So why are they like that now? Who's signing their checks? And not the checks that we can look up on Google and see how much they make. I'm talking about the real checks, the real money. And Margaret Sanger. It's funny how people, Planned Parenthood, they're so awesome. They do mammograms and stuff like that. But do you know who started Planned Parenthood and why? Margaret Sanger used to do speeches in front of the Klan, the real Klan, not these watered down, toothless sister fuckers we have now. The real Klan, 100,000 strong, marching in front of the White House in the early 1900s, Ku Klux Klan. The America that they flick their beam to, that they say we're living in now, that was really happening back then. So how can people of color support this? And people who claim to be allies for people of color, how can you support an organization like this? Because Margaret Sanger got the abortion ball rolling. Margaret Sanger she was like a Harlem Globetrotter. You know, they twirl the ball in their finger, then they pick some kid out of the audience and pass it onto their finger, and they keep spinning it. That's what she did. She got the ball spinning and then passed it off. And we keep going like this, keeping that damn thing going. Talk about her. And then Amber Rose. Jericho, how in the hell does Amber Rose fit into all this? Some of you might be asking, who the fuck is Amber Rose? Well, again, if you don't know her, lucky you. But she was some hoe bag who slept with Kanye West and a whole bunch of other people. She got famous off of the lower half of her body. But she has a new song out, guys. I know you're waiting for something cool to put on your playlist. So here you go. Let's see. And her new song is called Get Your Hoe On. I'm no prude. I grew up listening to hip hop. But this kind of attitude plays into this current culture we're in, where it's cool to not be married before you have a kid. You got all these celebrities, Rihanna and these other hoes out here posting pictures of their belly. I'm going to have a baby. And the comment section is full of, yes, queen, go girl, yes, yes, black love. And all this bullshit. So when did we create this culture where it's cool to have a baby on your own? It's cool to have a family, to start a family before you get married. It's cool to be free with your vagina. Just hand it out. Act like you got a deck of cards. Hey, you want some? There you go. There you go. These are puss cards. Take one of these. Have one. When did that shit become cool? That's why you have a generation of people who are, yes, abortion's great. And Monday they can say, I care about people of color. Then Tuesday they can support abortion, which is the number one killer of people of color. How is that possible? But the message behind her song, Get Your Hoe On, you know what that means? Go out there and fuck. Go out there and give it up. Don't worry about no condom. Just go kill that damn thing next week. Let him bust all in you. Yeah. There you go, girl. Get your hoe on. Be a hoe. Be a slut. Be disgusting. Get chlamydia. Gross. Get loose. Beat that thing up. She wants your vagina to look like, you ever seen carne asada? That's what they want it to look like. A piece of carne asada. Just beat down. Hand it out. Used up. Then, after you get out of your hoe phase, how come I can't find a good man to marry me? Because you're a slut. No dude wants some shit that's all worn out. He don't even fit in it. Get out of here with that shit. But make sure you get your hoe on, okay? And remember, viewer-supported platform. Venmo, GreenforGreen. Cashapp, $ Jericho Green 1. And the super chats. Keep them coming in. So, let's see. Where should we begin? So many tasty morsels. Let's start with Nancy Pelosi's comments, because she was mad as shit. She was all upset. Oh, I love this shit, man. I love that they're so mad. I love that they're upset and emotional, saying fucked up shit on the internet. Let's see. Oh, she's so mad. And she looks horrible, by the way. Nancy, fucking retire. What are you doing? You ain't Jacqueline. Here we go.
Controlled Supreme Court has achieved their dark, extreme goal
Dark.
of ripping away a woman's right to make their own reproductive health decisions.
Whoa.
Because of Donald Trump, Mitch McConnell, and the Republican Party, their supermajority in the Supreme Court, American women today have less freedom than their mothers. With Roe and their attempt to destroy it, radical Republicans are charging ahead with their crusade to criminalize health freedom. In the Congress, be aware of this, the Republicans are plotting a nationwide abortion ban.
Should see her face.
They cannot be allowed to have a majority in the Congress to do that. But that's their goal. And if you read, and again, we're all studying all this, but if you read what is in the very clear, one of the justices had his own statement. It's about contraception, in vitro fertilization, family planning. That is all what will spring from their decision that they made today.
What about your husband?
It's such a contradiction. Yesterday, the states cannot make laws governing
Told you they say
the
this.
constitutional right to bear arms. And today, they're saying the exact reverse, that the states can overturn a constitutional right for 50 years, a constitutional right for a woman having the right to choose. The hypocrisy is raging, but the harm is endless.
Endless. I'm sorry, that's all I can take of that witch. You should have seen her face. She was mad. And that's another lie that they spew, is that this is a constitutional right. It is not a constitutional right. Abortion is not mentioned in the Constitution, but I'll tell you what is. I told you I was going to read from this little pamphlet. Can't remember who sent it to me, but shout out to you. But it's these amendments, and the 10th one is the one I'm going to focus on. It says the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. Meaning that if it's not in the Constitution, hand it back to the people. Let them decide. Not you out of touch fuckers that are 1,000 miles away or whatever. Out here in California, they're 2,000 some miles away from here. DC does not live our lives. They don't live like us. They don't do what we do. All these states are different. So if the Constitution doesn't cover it, to keep it from getting all messy, give it back to the states. And that's another thing they say, a lot of people are saying, is that it's banned. The Supreme Court decision makes it illegal. Women can't get abortions. What? What do you mean? That's not it at all, stupid. And in this age of information, you can find out like that. It's not banned. That means they're giving the power back to you. You don't want the power? They're giving you power. But that power is wrapped in something that is kryptonite to them. It's called responsibility. Here, you can have the power, but now you have to be more responsible. And they act like every state is going to vote to not have abortion. I just mentioned the California offense. There's a whole side of the country that you can come and have all the abortions you want. They'll probably make it like where we used to live on the coast. They had this place called Mayo, or even some donut shops do it, where they give you a card, and every time you come in, they stamp that card. And when you get all the stamps filled in, you get a free dozen donuts, or you get free ice cream, or free whatever. They'll probably do it like that. Make it fun, you know? Ooh, I got one more baby stamp to get on here. My next abortion is free. And they're talking all that. What were they telling us? 4 words. My body, my choice. If you don't have a vagina, you can't talk about this. Women's rights, a woman's right to choose, not a man. They never say a man's right to choose because they think we're all just a bunch of heartless fuckers who don't want to have the baby. Wrong. And I've mentioned this before. What about if you're a man and you had sex with a woman and you got her pregnant and then she lets you know, oh, last week I went and had an abortion. Some men might feel pretty fucked up about that. You took out a baby that I could have potentially helped raise, my child. Lift me, you're right. Men can get pregnant too. So yeah, we'll just start having our own babies, fellas. But they talk all that shit. My body, my choice. They were chanting it. My body, my choice. If you don't have a uterus, keep your mouth shut. Even though without you, men, I wouldn't have anything in my uterus. But my body, my choice. Now the Supreme Court is handing the power back to you. Now you're saying, well, men, you're not literally, they're saying, men, how come you're not saying anything? That's what Megan Rapinoe was saying. She said, men, speak up. Speak up, man. You've been quiet on this. You've been complicit in this. Okay, let's see. Let's see what that fucker has to say, huh? Oops. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see. She had said it in Sports Illustrated. All right, here we go. Hold on, no, that's something else. Something stupid she said about something else. Megan Rapinoe gives emotional, there's that word. Megan Rapinoe gives emotional remarks following Roe v. Wade decision. Oh, man. I know. Hey, careful, guys. I know you're sitting on the edge of your seat. Don't slip out. Guys, I'll try to get through this. This is very emotional. It's hard to put into words how sad a day this is for me personally, for my teammates, for all of the people out there this is going to affect. Pro-choice means that you get to choose. Pro-choice allows other people to be pro-life if that is what works for them, or that is what their beliefs are, or if that is where they're at in their life. Pro-life doesn't allow anybody to make a choice. Except, hey, quiet, baby, you have no say in this. And then some beta male, some soft handshake bitch was like, she's right. And then she goes on. Oh, it says Rapinoe has also called out men, specifically male athletes, for not doing enough publicly to change the direction of these views, even though they were telling you simultaneously, don't say nothing. You've been silent to us as a whole. Stand up, say something. Stand up, man, you punks. Stand up, say something. This is your wife. This is your sister. This is your friend. This is your girlfriend. This is the mother of your children. This is all of us. And you are allowing a violent and consistent onslaught on the autonomy of women's bodies, on women's rights, on women's minds, on our hearts, on our souls. Oh, I need to go get some tissue. We live in a country that tries to chip away at what you have enabled. You enabled this, you fucking man. And what you've been privileged enough to feel your entire life. So this is your fault, men. Men, shut up. Men, shut up. Shut up, men, shut up. Why didn't you say anything, man? Why aren't you saying anything about this? Why aren't you speaking up? So it's your fault. You're doing this to your wives and your sisters and your mothers and the mothers of your children. You heard it, guys. She said, this is all of us, and you are allowing a violent and consistent onslaught. Violent. Who's getting violent with these women that want to get abortions? Where? But it's your fault, man. You created this. Okay, so wait a minute. First, it's anything you can do, I can do better. Now it's big, strong man. Why didn't you come to my aid? I don't need no fucking man. Get out of here. I am woman. Hear me roar. Big strapping man. Why didn't you come help me? Why didn't you get that jar off of the top shelf for me? How the fuck do you want it? Don't say nothing. Then it's why didn't you say something? You can't take these fuckers serious. They're not on our level. There's something wrong with them. They are allergic to facts and logic. You can't reason with somebody like that. You've been complicit. You helped them. You are taking away a woman's rights? Where? And it's funny because here in America, we have no natural predators, so to speak. So we got time to focus on stupid shit like this. There's women out there that got to worry about, I don't know, enough protein for their kids not being kidnapped and forced into some army for the latest regime to go fight a war where the gun's almost as tall as they are. They got to worry about stuff like honor killings and clitorectomies. But the women here worry about rights that they have that will never be taken away. And guess what, ladies? If someone tries to take your women's rights, as you say, guess who's going to be right there standing next to you, probably standing in front of you, fighting as hard, if not harder than you, to keep those rights. Men. These evil, complicit men in violence, as you said, have created a world where you can bitch about stupid shit like this. They've created a world where you can get out there and bitch about, I don't make as much money as the boy soccer players, even though you suck. You suck. But we let you jump around and say your dumb shit, stomp your feet, pay you a shitload of money. I bet you Megan Rapinoe makes more than most women of color that this is going to disproportionately affect. And you poor women and you brown women. What are you saying, Megan? Are you saying they're poor because they're brown and they're black? I think so. There's a hint of racism. I can smell it. I know you're a little racist. It's fine. But it makes them feel virtuous when they can come to the aid of you poor black women. I feel bad. I feel so bad for you women of color that I'm going to help you keep the number of colored people down. I love you, but I'm going to help kill you. I support you, but I'm going to help push along the number one cause of your death since this happened. What the fuck does that make sense? Women of color. Shut the fuck up, Megan. Another thing they like to talk about is, what about the women who get pregnant because of rape? They shouldn't have to keep those babies. What about the women who get pregnant via incest? They shouldn't have to keep that baby. Well, I did some digging, and it turns out women that get abortions, 1% are pregnant through rape. Now, that's too many. We should live in a society where no women get raped. And the man that rapes a woman, we should cut your balls off with a broken light bulb. Okay? We should put your testicles into those, those nutcrackers for like walnuts and shit. The worst things humanly possible should happen to you if you do that to a woman. No excuse. Chuck Norris Gun Club. I bet that's a badass gun club. What is a woman? Now all of a sudden they know. And I don't know. We don't know what a woman is. A woman is, it's fluid. But now, woman's rights. Woman's right to choose. Got it. So any man that perpetrates that kind of crime against a woman, we should, I don't know, stretch you out and let you bake in the hot sun of a desert and let the vultures eat your intestines while you're still alive. The most horrible shit. Take your pick. And then incest, because this is what rape and incest, because these are the things, they bing, 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 pluck on those heartstrings. They got to hit your emotions. Their facts are garbage, so they got to hit your emotions. What about rape and incest? What about incest? Women who are pregnant from somebody in their family doing that to them. And something has popped into my mind. There are situations where women get pregnant through incest and it was consensual. There's some dirty cousin fuckers out there, okay? Let's keep it real. Rape, not at all. It's 100% wrong. But incest, some of that's consensual. But anyway, women that get pregnant via incest is 0.5%, half of 1%. So you have 100% of abortions, 1% is rape, and 0.5% is incest. Yet, these are the situations that are always pushed to the forefront of their argument. What about rape and incest? What about rape and incest? They don't talk about the overwhelming majority, the over 90% that are performed for inconvenience. I don't want it yet. I'm not ready. Hot girl summer. I like to drink Truly. They don't talk about that shit. They talk about the two tiniest groups. And if you are pregnant through incest and it wasn't consensual, we can throw that over into the rape category. So by that logic, I guess the incest was consensual. Because if not, then that goes into a different category. So either way, 1% is rape, 0.5% is incest. Yet that is the meat of their argument, which further proves they're a bunch of over-emotional children who should not be making decisions. This woman is talking about men being complicit in this. That's the same woman who demands she gets paid the same as a man, but you are not even half as good as a man. She's on the same team that got worked. I think the score was something like 8-0 by a bunch of 14 and 15-year-old boys. These boys aren't even old enough to drive to said match where they kicked their ass. The parking lot was full of minivans, and their mom's like, oh, when's this going to be over? But you want the same as a man. Fuck you, man. But then, man, why don't you help me? You're fucking crazy. Okay? You know what else is crazy? Friends, temperatures aren't the only thing rising. Gasoline prices, food prices, tensions throughout society, global conflicts, supply chain breakdowns, you name it. Experts say the looming global food crisis will be worse than any year since World War II. What should you do? Go to preparewithjericho.com and get your long-term emergency food storage from My Patriot Supply while you still can. My Patriot Supply is America's largest preparedness company with millions of satisfied customers. Their food lasts for up to 25 years in storage, so when you need it, it will be there. Act quickly and save $150 on a 3-month emergency food kit. These kits provide breakfast, lunch, dinner, drinks, and snacks totaling over 2,000 calories a day. You won't go hungry when you have this emergency food. Go to preparewithjericho.com and save $150 on your 3-month emergency food kit. That's preparewithjericho.com. Get your family's emergency food while there's still time. Preparewithjericho.com. Here's something I've always wanted to do. You know, you watch the news at night or something, they always do that with their papers. Bucket list Let's get in here and see what you crazy kids are talking about before I move on to the next scoop of bullshit. They're so good to watch those people get mad. And again, when you see who's mad, that lets you know exactly how you should feel about it. Justice Clarence Thomas, Bam Bam Bigelow, says Justice Clarence Thomas had a productive Friday. He did. He was handling business. That fool. He was doing it. He had all those motherfuckers mad. Good. Charlie Simon says pro-life babies' lives matter. Yes. And Default Apocalypse says her name was Norma McCorvey. Yeah, that's the lady. That's the Roe in Roe v. Wade. And there's a lot of dummies out there who think her name was actually Jane Roe. Anderson Moffitt 2 says rapists should have their balls cut off and then serviced by the worst prison rapists. Yeah, you should be. When you stand up, your shit should just fall out because you have no more anal retention. They blew that thing wide open. They should make your ass look like the border. Wide open. Do it. And why shouldn't we? Wouldn't that send a clear message to would-be rapists? You don't want that to happen to you. You don't want them to go in your asshole and go, because that thing's this big now. You don't want that. You don't want it. Oh my goodness. I hope you're not fucking serious. Cart Gamer YT Carter says Lizzo is paying for abortions now. Lord German Husbando says one of my high school friends ahead to drop out. She got pregnant at 17. Yeah, and having the kid's an option too. I don't know why people fucking don't talk about that, but you could have the kid and give it up for adoption. Maybe you'll get adopted by one of those celebrities and live a fucking rich life and be happy. I don't know. But that's funny that how they're not talking about that. Matt Manning says Ilhan Omar, a.k.a. Brotherfucker. Yeah, see? That could have been some incest right there. Probably is. Who knows? Zatoikis Kane Sword says Saturday with Jericho. You got it. Right after some cartoons, come on over here. Let's do it. Exactly. Dale Ram 67 Ramirez says all of a sudden they know the definition of a woman now. Yeah, they know it well. Jim Starr says Biden commits incest. I hope you're wrong, but according to his daughter's entries into her diary, somebody's doing it. Oh man, that was a good point. Jack says all these dumb lefty women getting vasectomies now. Good, don't reproduce, please. I know, because the women, they have dicks, and the men have vaginas. It's crazy. We've fallen down this Alice in Wonderland rabbit hole. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Screen jumped on me again. The Gig Show says, question, why are the gays mad about this decision? Exactly. What? I don't understand. You guys, you got nothing to do with this. You can help in no way in your current sexual situation. This you can't be a part of this. Duron 19 says it's just a clump of papers. Yeah. They say when it's convenient, it's this, and when it's not convenient, it's that. They just switch it around. It's interchangeable. Eileen J, thank you very much. She says, heard an adopted young man say during a pro-life rally, I am not the residue of a rapist. I'm the resilience of my mother. Amen. Damn. There you go. There you go. Because some of those women who get raped do raise the children. They do have them and raise them. And they apparently have great relationships. It is possible. But we've gotten to where that's the first option because it's a path of least resistance. You don't have to carry this kid to term and deal with the emotions of it and raise this kid and do all the, live through all the hardships that come with being a parent. I mean, I'm talking about like lack of sleep and shit like that. Being a parent is great, but in the beginning, yeah, it sucks because you don't get a lot of sleep. But they're not willing to do that. And another thing they don't talk about is the effect that this has on the women that have these abortions. It's not like, okay, that's done. Next. What What are you up to, girl? Hashtag rid of it. You know what I mean? That's not how it happens. Women think about this decision for the rest of their life. Some of them, it's very bad. It's hard on them, the thought of what they did for the rest of their life until they die. It's not like, oh, I'm 40 now. I don't think about that shit. Yeah, you do. Probably even more so. And if they went on to have kids, you look into the face of your kids and think, what would that kid look like? What would they be like? Will they look like grandma? Will they look like grandpa? Will they look like me, their dad? All that shit, that's real. That shit sticks with you. This ain't some willy-nilly decision that should be made. This should not be a form of birth control, but it is. Up until yesterday. And in some states, it will continue to be. These liberal shitholes. I read the quote from the mayor of New York yesterday. Don't worry, you'll still be able to get your abortions here. I won't keep you safe, but I can help you kill your baby. If that baby grows up in the city, it won't be safe. But if you don't want it, come on down. This is a spot. This is a new hot spot. This is a new hot nightclub. They're going to have velvet ropes and women waiting outside. Inside. Oh, shit, I want to get in there and get rid of this damn thing. Let's go. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Venmo, GreenforGreen, Cashapp, $ Jericho Green. 1 super chats. Get them up in here. And also JerichoGreen.net. Exclusive videos you will only see there. $3.99 per month. So who's next? I want to save the Martha Stewart one for the end because that's just that is just love it. So Dick's Sporting Goods. Let's see. Let me bring that shit up. I want to make sure I quote this because it's even better when you hear the words come from their mouth or from their fingertips. Oh, and here's another bit of good news. SF, San Fran shithole Archbishop responds to Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade. Remember that Archbishop? He's the same one who denied Nancy Pelosi communion. He's, I don't want her coming up in here making all this good holy water boil. So here we go. Lauren Hobart. She said she is the president and CEO, member of board of directors for Dick's Sporting Goods. Isn't that ironic? A company that supports abortion is called Dick's. But anyway, at Dick's, our teammates are the heart of our business, and we are committed to protecting their health and well-being. There's another lie. It's the health, because the mother, it might be a situation, all abortions are situations where if they don't get rid of the baby, the mom's going to die. This ain't the fucking prairie in 1800. Not only is it 2022, you are in America. You have your best chance medically right here. Don't act stupid. Today, the Supreme Court announced a decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, removing the federal right to an abortion and leaving the decision up to each state, like that's a problem. While we do not know what decision each state will make, in response to this ruling, we at Dick's Sporting Goods are prepared to ensure that all of our teammates have consistent and safe access to benefits we provide, regardless of the state in which they live. So abortion is a benefit. In response to today's ruling, we are announcing that if a state, one of our teammates, I hate when they use language, teammate, you're not a fucking teammate, you're an employee. If a teammate lives and restricts access to abortion, Dick's Sporting Goods will provide up to $4,000 in travel expense reimbursement to travel to the nearest location where that care is legally available. It's care. Because this is a good thing. This is nice. This is care. Self-care. Do a little trimming, a little washing, a little buff, a little buff and fluff. Get your toes done, your nails done, your hair did. Self-care. It's the same thing. This benefit will be provided to any teammate, spouse, or dependent enrolled in our medical plan, along with one support person. The fuck's a support person? Oh, I guess if they need to send you along with someone. Well, if it's care and it's a good thing and it's good for you, then why would you need a care person, a support person to go along with you? Support you for what? You don't like flying alone? What's a support person? Or do they know that this is something that could potentially fuck with you or something you'll get scared about, probably not want to do? Is that why you need a support person? Why would Dick's Sporting Goods throw their hat in the abortion ring? Virtue signaling at its finest? I think so. And aren't you taking out future teammates? You know, it is common for people to work somewhere and then get their kid to get their kid into the same company. I guess you don't care about future teammates. Do you plan on going out of business? And Lizzo, that disgusting pile of chocolate soft serve, for her to be paying, don't you realize that black women account for like 40% of the abortions in this country and you're going to pay for them? You care about your kings and your queens, but you're going to help pay for their death? How fucking stupid is that? That is retarded. We need to take care of our black kings and queens. I fucking hate that king and queen shit. You ain't fucking royalty. You're just like everybody else. But you care about them. Oh, the Black Lives Matter and another unarmed black man. Well, you're killing a whole bunch of unarmed black men and women. Who's more unarmed than a baby, you fucking monster? But you want to help snuff those kids' lives out. I care about you, black man, once you're here. But if you're still behind that thin layer of skin, how come behind that layer of skin, fuck it, but when it's on the other side, oh my God, hashtag this and that, I'm going to put a black square on my Instagram page for 24 hours. But you're paying for them to get killed. And these are people that some people in our society look up to? You couldn't fill a thimble with what that dumb bitch knows. But we're going to pay for abortions. What the fuck, man? This is sick. Sick. That's why you got Amber Rose making songs called Get Your Hoe On. Because now it's cool to be a hoe. Now it's cool to be a filthy slut with STDs. And don't worry, girl, after you're done popping bottles, just go down there and fucking get rid of that thing. By next week, you'll be back in the game. You'll be back to getting nuts busted in your face. Because that's cool, girl. Gangbangs are cool. Loose vaginas are cool. Remember that, fellas? Remember back in the day when vaginas used to be tight? Huh? Remember it used to be tight? Remember you couldn't last week. You're done. Not anymore. Now you fellas got to deal with these loose, beat up, haggard vaginas. These after they've taken a beating. Just like, it always makes me think of Jenny from Forrest Gump. That's the perfect example. Ever since they were kids, Jenny, I love you, Jenny. Remember the dude was trying to take advantage of her and Forrest pulled him out of the car and whooped his ass? I love you, Jenny. Remember? Then she's at the Black Panther party. Homeboy put his hands on her. Here comes Captain Save-A-Ho. Forrest Gump. Boom, boom. Whooped his ass. I love you, Jenny. No, Forrest. No. I got to go, Forrest. No, Forrest. Fuck you, Forrest. But after she's been ran up in and ran through and gotten AIDS, now it's, I love you, Forrest. Now you want to die in his arms. That's what's going to happen. All these women are going to go out and get their Jenny on, and they want to come back to you, Forrest Gumps, all fucked up, all wet, drenched in some other dude's jizz. Don't you love me? Ew. I loved you back then before you saw 78 dicks a week. Gross. But that's cool now. Lizzo's paying for abortions. Amber Rose is dropping a song, Get Your Hoe On. That all plays into this culture. That all plays into the shit that we're dealing with now. Where you got women of color helping and supporting the abortions of babies of color. Please help me make that make sense. and Dick's. That's so weird. Dick's Sporting Goods are teammates and care. They don't care about you. If they did, they would help you kill your damn baby. And here's a novel thought. Don't let everybody get up in it. Be selective. Use protection. The fuck? And now, the cherry on top. Your girl, Martha Stewart, interior decorator to the stars. She got, what store does she have her stuff at? Macy's or something? The Martha Stewart collection. She makes everything. She's so smart. She's so creative. She's a female billionaire empowerment, right? Okay. Rightio, you old racist bitch. I said it. That's what I put on my Instagram, at JG Talk, by the way. I put, ooh, Martha, you old racist bitch. Why would I call her that? How could you say something so mean to a lady that's so crafty? I'll tell you. Who was it? The Fat Jewish. Oh, yeah, he used to be the Fat Jew. Whatever. He's a woke, soft handshake bitch anyway. But he writes, time zones are crazy. I don't know if he talks this way, but this is someone who writes this. This is how they would talk. Time zones are crazy. In Australia, it's 9 a.m. In Rome, it's 1 a.m. And in America, it's 1942, where minorities and women are still controlled by old white men. Oh, I'm so tired of that narrative. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, who keeps voting these old white men into the office? Huh? And then Martha Stewart with her blue check mark, bitch ass. Martha Stewart, 48, blue check mark. She writes, and an old black man who doesn't know who he is. And she put a picture of Clarence Thomas. Let me read that one more time. Time zones are crazy. In Australia, it's 9 a.m. In Rome, it's 1 a.m. And in America, it's 1942, where minorities and women are still controlled by old white men. Martha Stewart says, and an old black man who doesn't know who he is. Bitch, are you crazy? Who do you think you are? That was racist, Martha, because you're saying because of his skin color, he is supposed to think a certain way. He is supposed to be a monolith. It's supposed to be groupthink, hive mindset. All black people are supposed to think the same. That's what you're saying. That is racist. To say that someone should act a certain way or believe a certain way because of their skin color is textbook racism. If the Webster Dictionary, the guy or whoever started the Webster Dictionary was standing behind me, they would say, that's right. It's racist. But she's okay because she's on the left. She's part of the bullshit. She's friends with Snoop, who's another liberal bitch. I don't respect any man who wraps his hair up at night. I'm not talking about a do-rag. That motherfucker wraps his hair up like a woman, like a black woman every night. There's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with a man who has his nails that long. But Snoop's another bitch. And he ain't going to say nothing. He's not going to come out against Martha Stewart because she said that about a black conservative. If he said that about one of them left-wing bitches, like that greasy-lip bitch Donna Lamone, then he might say something. Then she would be racist. But since she said it about a black conservative, it's all good. I didn't see her releasing any apologies. I shouldn't have said that. I like people of color. I've done work over the years and all that bullshit. She don't have to take this tweet down. It's not going to get deleted. Because when the racism is sanctioned, it's okay. We should all be calling this shit out for what it is, but they won't do that. Martha Stewart can say that Clarence Thomas is an old black man who doesn't know who he is. Let me tell you something, Martha Stewart. I'll bet everything I have that Clarence Thomas is at least twice as smart as you. At least. I will venture to say that Clarence Thomas is way smarter than Martha Stewart. Martha, ex-felon Stewart. I bet you Clarence Thomas isn't a felon But you're going to say he's an old black man who doesn't, what the fuck does that mean? Who doesn't know who he is? He knows what a woman is. I'll tell you that much. So he's already smarter than you liberal fucker. So from the low road, I say, fuck you, Martha Stewart. Fuck you, Megan Rapinoe. Fuck you, Amber Rose. Fuck you, Nancy Pelosi. Fuck you, CEO of Dick's Sporting Goods. Fuck you, James Brown. I mean, damn it, I love James Brown. I mean, Maxine Waters. Maxine, stop looking so much like James Brown so I don't get confused. Okay? You look like James Brown. Stop. You're confusing me. Fuck them all. They are not for our best interest. You can't be pro people of color and want to kill their young. It doesn't work that way. I would say good morning, but it's not a good morning. The Supreme Court, Trump, and all the Republicans. Why are you talking about Trump? Oh, I know why. Because he hooked us up with some conservative judges to not let this country be dragged down into the shithole you want it to be. I'm glad he did that. Thanks for helping us from beyond the presidency, Trump. I saw another video today about some black folks wanting Trump back. Everybody wants him back. Because the dummy you got in there now is screwing us all. We're all bent over the barrel. We're all holding hands over the barrel, praying that they at least spit on it before they insert. That's where we are. Trump didn't do that. Trump had our back. Trump wasn't a career politician piece of shit like the one we have now. And these fucking gremlins running around talking about, oh, to hell with the Supreme Court. To hell with you. Why are you still in Congress? You're old as fuck. You've been there forever and haven't done anything. Your tonsils. Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi, they're tonsils. The body of America can do without them just fine. It's even fun to get them taken out. You get to have ice cream for like a week. Maybe we can eat Nancy's expensive ice cream she was showing off during the lockdowns. You out of touch dumbass. You gargoyle. David Lopan. And not David Lopan with the Fu Manchu and all the makeup. The other David Lopan, the gnarled, crusty little bent up, atrophied antique in the wheelchair with the liver spots all over his head. That's the David Lopan that Nancy Pelosi looks like. Here, let me pull that shit up for those of you that don't know. The reason I call her David Lopan is because she looks like David Lopan from Big Trouble in Little China. You tell me I'm wrong. I'll pull up the picture right now. That David Lopan. You tell me that don't look like Nancy Pelosi? See, most people think when I say David Lopan, I mean this David Lopan. He takes two forms in the movie. No. This one. Tell me Nancy don't look like that. Right now in the comment section, you tell me if he don't look just like Nancy Pelosi. That's why I call her David Lopan. She's a liver-spotted demon. And since your job is to uphold the Constitution clearly states what to do in situations like this. So why don't you fall back or support? Don't be talking shit about who did this and their super majority and all that bullshit out there chanting into a megaphone. Right there. We didn't hire you to be no damn activist. We didn't hire you to be at protests. We hired you to uphold and defend the Constitution, you idiot. Should you be at home with your new fiance? He's a fucking eunuch anyway. He don't care. He probably wants you to stay out there as long as you can before you come home and peg him. He probably hasn't healed from the other night. He wants you to be out there. He's hurt. He's walking around the house like this. He got to sit on one of them donuts for when you got hemorrhoids and shit. He probably don't want you to come home because when you come home, it's pegging time. Oh yeah, it's pegging time. Man, fuck these people. Bunch of dumbasses. Venmo, GreenforGreen, Cashapp, $ Jericho Green 1. Super chats. Get them in before we wrap it up. And you can do it P.O. Box style. 806 Olivehurst, California, 95961-9998. But first, friends, temperatures aren't the only thing rising. Gasoline prices, food prices, tensions throughout society, global conflicts, supply chain breakdowns, you name it. Experts say the global food crisis will be worse than anything since World War II. What should you do? I say go to preparewithjericho.com and get your long-term emergency food storage from My Patriot Supply while you still can. My Patriot Supply is America's largest preparedness company with millions of satisfied customers. The food lasts for up to 25 years in storage, so when you need it, it will be there. Act quickly and save $150 on a 3-month emergency food kit. This kit supplies breakfast, lunch, dinners, drinks, and snacks, because you know kids gotta have snacks, totaling over 2,000 calories a day. You won't go hungry when you have this emergency food. So go to preparewithjericho.com, save $150 on a 3-month emergency food kit. That's preparewithjericho.com. Get your family's emergency food while you still can. That's preparewithjericho.com. Always wanted to do that. People, I think I got all the super chats. Let me see. I think I got them all. Unless you want to, send a couple more. So, I think I got them all. Oh, hold on. Got another one here from Christian Hoser. He says, speaking of being a parent, my boy wrote their marching/running song. I'm so proud as a peacock. Proud as a peacock, Jericho. I bet you are. That's awesome, man. I hope your son does well. It sounds like he will. Sounds like he has initiative. An initiative will take you far. Islander _67 little brown guy says, hey, Jericho, you fuckers, hit that like button. Please like and sub, and like. I appreciate that. Paul says, yep, come on down to NY Shitty. We will kill you too. That's right. If they don't get you in the womb, they'll get you when you get out. Don't you worry. Let's see. John James. He says, my wife and I got tricked into it. We were on drugs, fucked up, and tricked that our kid would have been deformed or retarded. We still regret it every day. I think about it every day. That's another thing, man. That's a great point, John, and I'm sorry that happened. That's another good point. They don't just, the girls don't, or women don't go in there for abortions, and they say, oh, yes, come on in. We'll take care of you. No, sometimes the girls go in there not knowing what they want to do or not wanting to get abortion. They're coerced and they're convinced to do it. Why would somebody do that? Why would a business convince you to do something like that unless they needed you to, unless they needed what you have in you? They do that shit. But Planned Parenthood, they do mammograms and hand out condoms. Bullshit. That's a very small part of what they do. They perform a lot of the abortions in this country every year. Don't believe that shit. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there like John and his wife who were coerced into that shit. And that's terrible. Like he said, they regret it every day. It doesn't stop when you walk out of the office. That's just the beginning. They take advantage of people in those situations. Why do you think they put the Planned Parenthoods where they put them? There's no Planned Parenthood Beverly Hills. There's no Planned Parenthood Manhattan, or wherever the rich part of New York City is. Margaret Sanger. She was evil, but she was not dumb. Doing pictures. They want to talk some bullshit. Racist, your clan member, racist. Oh, you're racist. Everybody's racist. Racist. You're racist. And America's racist. And Trump was a racist. And all these people are racist. Well, I'll show you some real racists. Isn't that their uniform? Who's that standing up there? Who's standing up there giving a speech? It's Margaret Sanger. She started Planned Parenthood. Those are real racists right there. They got uniforms. Don't believe the bullshit. We live in the age of information. You better look that shit up. People, we did it again. Another live stream. I was great. You were great. We were all great together. Thank you for your time, your comments, your super chats. I appreciate it. Like I say, this is a viewer-supported platform, so I really mean it. Thank you very much. You make it all possible. But we won't be here tomorrow because tomorrow's Sunday. That's the one day that I take off. But Monday we'll be back. We'll see. And I have a feeling that Monday's news cycle is going to be heavy because we're going into the weekend. And the song, like the song says, the freaks come out at night. Well, the freaks also come out on the weekend. So we are going to see how it goes. We are going to see what is torched, what is burned, what is fucked up. I hope nothing. I hope that these people are able to protest peacefully because that's what Biden is pervertus was calling for. That's what he was calling for. He said, and I quote, "Keep the protests peaceful. Every rose has its thorns." He said to keep it peaceful. I hope they listen. But you know how it goes. Say it with me, kids. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Utilize the Linktree link. Get your ass over to JerichoGreen.net. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.